ipatikane, ndio pesa iletwe, alafu madawa yatakuja, madaktari watakuja na services zitaendelea kukua mzuri. Lakini inahitaji wewe uregister na pia mahospitali ya waone kwa kutumia hiyo njia ya sham.
Speaking in Malaba, Health Cabinet Secretary Deborah Baraza has called on hospitals to embrace and provide services under the Social Health Authority, emphasizing its potential to revolutionize healthcare delivery in the country.
It is very difficult kupata president, the highest, there is political will that the highest office in the land is supporting health. And number 2, that we have resources to support health. And number 3, we have the laws that can help us, move forward. So because we have the
This year has further urged the public to disregard negative social media narratives about SHA and instead focus on ensuring universal access to medicine and health insurance.
Our politicians, let us not be the ones saying she shall show. We are the ones who should be supporting this great agenda. Wakati mwingine kwa mitandao tunasikia maneno na hatujui kama ni ukweli. Lakini tukikaa pamoja, if we unite, if we sit together, if we support each other as CHP, as Ngao, as the community, then we can give the community the right message.
As doctors prepare for the strike, the stark contrast in messaging underscores the deepening divide between the reality of a crumbling healthcare system and the government's narrative of reform and progress. Gertrude Burgay, K24 TV.
The process of reconstituting the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has hit another roadblock. On Friday, the High Court declared amendments to the IEBC Act of 2023 unconstitutional. This ruling has triggered a fresh debate about the future of the electoral body and the potential consequences for the country. Our reporter Brian Amwai takes an in-depth look at the legal and political intrigues surrounding the IEBC's reconstitution and what this means for Kenya.
The road to reconstituting the IEBC is once again in disarray. The High Court nullified amendments to the IEBC Act, effectively disbanding the 7-member selection panel tasked with recruiting new commissioners. The judgment was a win for Busia Senator Okiya Omtatah, who argued that the state violated the constitution by failing to uphold public participation during the legislative process. The ruling also invalidated the inclusion of opposition nominees to the selection panel introduced during the National Dialogue Committee. Now, the government and the opposition are back to square one, forced to either appeal the ruling or revert to the previous law before the 2023 amendments.
May the Lord rest his.
The opposition maintains that the delay uncovers the government's reluctance to allow fair representation in the IEBC selection process.
So some of these things are obvious. Mambo ya IEBC, if it is not reconstituted quickly, leo koti wamesema ya kwamba the intended amendment ambayo ilikuwa imepelekwa bungeni na ikapitishwa, hiyo wametoa, sio halali, it's unconstitutional. So every single day we are walking into a constitutional crisis. Na waomba nyinyi kanisa pia ogeeni mambo ya IEBC hata kutuliko sisi.
With only 4 years to the next general election, there is growing concern about the Commission's readiness. The IEBC is already behind on critical constitutional deadlines, including the review of the constituency boundaries, a process that could now be delayed indefinitely.
Timelines must be complied with, irrespective of whether we have not had a commission for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. However, we must also look at the integrity of the product of that election. The integrity of the product of an election is tied to the people that are going to be put in office to secure and deliver that election.
Even the matters that were brought to court by the PWDs on the IEBC situation, are you sure that if the courts wanted to actually expedite this, that they could not? Just one particular small issue?
The IEBC has long been viewed as a battlefield for partisan interest, with successive regimes using its composition to tilt the electoral scales. And the more its reconstitution is delayed, the further distrust in the electoral process deepens. Experts warn that continued legal and political wrangles could erode public trust in the electoral process.
The electoral system in this country is always in doubt because we have got trust deficits. When politicians compete They compete, but listen, they compete and they don't trust each other. That's fair enough. But why is it that we have got laws that govern election? Okay. We have got individuals that are recruited on the basis of suitability and competency to govern our elections. And then we have people that believe that when they go to the election, the results will reflect their will.
For now, Kenyans are left in limbo, with Parliament and the judiciary locked in a tug of war over who gets to shape the country's electoral future. Brian Amwai, K24, Nairobi.
The family of the late Meru blogger Bernard Muthiani, popularly known as Sniper, has cancelled his burial ceremony to protest what they term as delayed justice over his death. Muthiani was allegedly abducted, tortured, and later found dead last December. The family expressed frustration over the slow progress in bringing the culprits to justice, even after the matter was presented before the National Assembly. The then Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki had tabled the findings of the investigation, but a year later, no tangible action has been taken. The family has called on authorities to expedite the investigation and ensure the perpetrators face the full force of the law. The faces of a family on the verge of losing hope in their pursuit of justice for their son, Bernard Muthiani, a popular Meru blogger known as Sniper. The late Sniper was found dead in River Mutonga on December 7th last year after he was reported missing, allegedly kidnapped. The family, who has repeatedly postponed Muthiani's burial since August, has cited the lack of justice for his death as the reason. They have now confirmed that they will bury the late on December 27th.
Sisi kama familia tulikuwa tumepanga kufanya mazishi yetu tarehe 13 mwezi huu wa Disemba, lakini kwa sababu ambazo hazingeweza kuepukika imebidi tuairishe kama familia. Hii ni baada ya kugundua ile kesi yetu ya mtoto wetu ambayo tulikuwa tunatafutia haki, hata hatujawahi pewa siku. Tukagundua pia wakili wetu ni kama pengine amekuwa compromised na hatuna wakili so far. Kwa hivyo hatuna habari ya hiyo kesi kabisa, hatujui ni siku gani hiyo kesi iko. Tukaamua sasa kama familia tuairishe hii mazishi, tungoje hiyo siku, tupate siku ya kesi.
Those seeking justice for Muthiani also claim their lives have been in danger.
Mimi ni mmoja wa wale ambao wanaitisha justice for Sniper, ambao ni mmoja wa wale ambao wanatiwa ofu na wanasiasa walio juu kwa kutia maisha yetu hatarini, wakitaka kutukamata kwa sababu tunaitisha justice for Sniper. Nyumba zetu tuliama, hata maua, hata huko tauni mijini hatuwezi fika, kwa sababu kuna wale ambao wanakaa wakitutafuta kila wakati, wakindai sisi ni wale ambao tunafuatilia kifo cha Sniper, na wanataka kutukamata na kutusurutisha tusiendelee kuitisha justice for Sniper.
The family is now calling on the government to honor its promise and intervene. The case attracted national attention late last year and early this year, with Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, the then Interior Cabinet Secretary, publicly narrating the gruesome details of Sniper's death before the plenary.
Na tunajua kama familia hawajashikwa, wengine mpaka hawajaandika statement. Sisi tukaamua tungoje na tunamuomba ombi kama familia, akiwa ni yeye number 2 hii Kenya, atushughulikie tujue hii mambo vile inaenda.
On December 2nd, Muthiani, who had been at home most of the ill-fated day, allegedly received a call from Vincent Murithi, alias Supu, for a meetup in Meru town. The meeting, it is reported, involved discussions with Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza about their differences. Upon arriving in Meru town, Muthiani was abducted, driven to Mutonga River in Tharaka Nithi County, killed and dumped in the river. His disappearance was reported at Maua police station, and the body was discovered on December 6th by a resident fetching water at Majarani. A post-mortem conducted on the body revealed marks on Muthiani's neck indicating strangulation. 5 suspects, including Boniface Githinji, alias DJ Kaboom, Vincent Keimiri, Kenneth Murangeri, Christus Manyara, and Brian Mwenda were questioned in the murder case. Muthiani, originally from Igembe, Meru County, was known for his fierce criticism of the Meru governor and her administration until his death. Governor Mwangaza denied any involvement in Sniper's abduction and murder. Muthiani's death had a major political impact in Meru County. Governor Mwangaza's claim that MCAs had raised 86 million shillings for the late blogger's family became one of the grounds for impeachment, which was upheld by the Senate in August. The delayed justice has intensified mourning for this family, raising serious concerns about accountability in addressing such heinous crimes. Well, on that note, we take our very first break here on Evening Edition. More stories to come, including honoring Kenya Navy at 60. Do not miss.
Mozart Casino Jackpot. Zungusha gurudumu la furaha. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
Baada ya kutumia damu ya Yesu na mwili wa Yesu Kristo, shine, shine, shine. You shine and you shine. And just in the name of Jesus.
I will love you without condition.
This 14th December 2024, the sensational reggae star Etana will be performing live at the Embassy Bistro, Thika Road.
Malaika.
Flash tickets are now available at ticketyetu.com. Regular tickets are going for 1,500. VIP tickets are going for 3,000, 3,000 and 5,000 Kenyan shillings for VVIP. Ingia ticket yetu na ushike tiko yako leo. Come and have some good vibes.
La da da da. I'm not the sort of person who falls in and quickly out of love. But to you, I give my affection right from the start.
Many thanks for staying put. President William Ruto has once again made reference to former President Uhuru Kenyatta's advice barely a week after he visited him at his home in Gatundu, Kiambu County. Acknowledging the contribution and critical role played by the Kenya Navy in protecting the vast coastline and resources, the president claimed Kenyatta advised him to prioritize on state agency modernization. Speaking during the 60th anniversary of the Kenya Navy in Mombasa County, the Commander-in-Chief recognized the force's achievements, including enhancing maritime security as well as curbing cases of piracy in the Indian Ocean. Our reporter Edwin Bogwa with the details.
The Kenya Navy celebrated its 60th anniversary, marking a significant milestone in ensuring security of the country's maritime borders. The Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, President William Ruto, graced the colorful event at Umtongo Base in the county of Mombasa. The President indicated he would heed former Head of State Uhuru Kenyatta's advice to invest in upgrading capabilities and technology used by Kenya's security forces. This comes days after they met at Uhuru's home in Gatundu.
In fact, there is only one advice I got from the Commander-in-Chief that came before me. And he asked me, when resources become available, modernize our security agencies. And I intend to do that.
The President expressed his deep pride on the achievement of the Navy, acknowledging the tireless work and unwavering commitment of the Kenya Defense Forces and particularly the Kenya Navy in safeguarding the nation's interests.
The Kenya Navy has participated in important national and international peace missions and major operations. such as the Operation Exodus, Operation Mamba, Operation Linda Nchi, including the amphibious landing in Kismayu under the Operation Sledgehammer, which liberated Kismayu city.
Ruto also emphasized the Navy's role in humanitarian mission, such as providing aid during maritime disasters, search and rescue operations, and evacuations during national emergencies.
Our gallant officers and sailors have also provided invaluable human and humanitarian support during disaster emergencies such as flooding and mudslides, as well as search and rescue operations at sea, among others.
Additionally, the president underscored the importance of collaborations between the Kenya Navy and other security agencies, expressing a clear vision for the next 60 years, focusing on adopting new technologies, enhancing skills and operational capacity of personnel, which will maintain readiness to address dynamic security challenges.
Our strategic vision for the next 60 years is clear. We must continue enhancing our naval capabilities, embracing innovation, and strengthening our partnerships. It is also imperative for us to invest in advanced technologies, modernize our fleet, and escalate the skills and operational capacity of our men and women in our Kenyan Navy.
General Charles Kahariri, Commander of the National Armed Forces, praised the government's commitment to investing in and adopting new military technologies, saying these advancements will significantly enhance the training programs and operational capabilities of the country's defense forces.
Your Excellency, we thank you for your continued personal commitment to ensure the investment in the Kenya Defense Forces modernization, and in particular the Kenya Navy fleet, which will enhance. You also ensured enhancing of our training and operational capabilities, as well as strengthening our partnerships with other maritime nations and friends.
The Defense CS Soipan Tuya also highlighted the force's strong commitment to promoting women leadership and representation in key positions and creating more opportunities for women to ascend to high-level positions within the defense sector.
In line with the Ministry of Defense gender policy, the Kenya Navy has been in the forefront of implementation with success stories of female warship commanders, marine engineers, drivers, and special operations. These are fields that have historically and ordinarily been male-dominated.
Edwin Mbogwa, K24.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has urged the youth to acquire national identification cards and register as voters next year, a move he believes will help send President William Ruto home. Kalonzo insists that they won't rest until they oust President William Ruto come 2027. Speaking in Machakos County, Kalonzo highlighted that it is the youth's constitutional right to be issued with national identification cards.
Kwa sababu mwaka huu, na hii ni haki ya kikatiba, badala ya kuwaoa vijana ovyo ovyo, wapatiwe nafasi kama hii ambayo gavana wenyu amewapatia, ndio wakuze talente yao. Ni aibu kubwa kwamba wakati tunajiandaa to host AFCON, bado kuna mambo hivi. Kila wafanyao wana Kenya kwanza ni kujaribu kugandamiza nchi yetu. Kwa hivyo Wakenya, vijana mjiandae. Mimi nitarudi mwanzo wa mwaka, hatutalala mpaka huyu jamaa aende nyumbani.
The race for the African Union Commission AUC chairmanship has intensified, with 3 candidates outlining their visions for Africa during the Mjadala Africa debate in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The debate, a rare public engagement among contenders, touched on critical issues like economic integration, peace, and Africa's place on the global stage. Brian Amwai reports.
Where we are.
3 candidates, 4 rounds of questions, focus trained on one seat, the African Union Commission chair.
Dear candidates, your question.
It was a high-stakes moment as Kenya's former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Djibouti's Foreign Minister Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, and Madagascar's former Foreign Minister Richard Randriamandrato faced off in a 2-hour debate broadcast live across the continent.
The issue of funding.
Odinga, drawing on his extensive experience as the AU's High Representative for Infrastructure, proposed bold reforms.
In the issue of funding, which has been a major challenge, and look at other alternative sources of funding. When I was there as High Rep on infrastructure development, we came up with a proposal to set up an infrastructure fund for Africa, and using the African resources, because many of African countries have got a lot of money in sovereign funds, from which the AU can actually borrow without having to pay so much high interest. And this will help AU actually to spearhead the process of constructing some of these infrastructures.
Odinga also advocated for a more inclusive approach to silencing guns by 2035, addressing root causes like poverty, societal exclusion and ethnic divides. Djibouti's Yusuf highlighted financial autonomy for the AU and emphasized climate resilience and trade facilitation.
Our heads of state said we will pay 0.2% of eligible import to the Commission. Only 17 countries, 17, are applying and abiding by that rule. It has to change. I'm not going to impose that on our leaders. It's not my intention, but I will advocate for it. It's very important to have, that particular issue of mobilizing and fostering financing be resolved immediately.
Madagascar's Randriamandrato, meanwhile, underscored grassroots development and the African Continental Free Trade Area as game changers. The debate also tackled Africa's representation at the United Nations. Odinga pushed for 2 permanent seats on the Security Council, citing historical injustices.
Issues of financing and financial institutions of the African Union, questions that have to do with the participation of the civil society and the diaspora, the questions that are linked to information and digital technology. I'm sorry, we didn't have time to...
The candidates' public engagement marked a break from the AU's traditional secretive process. With the election set for February 2025, the debate has set the stage for what is shaping up to be a pivotal leadership contest.
I am ready to work for Africa. There are reforms that will be necessary so that AU can work more effectively. One of these reforms will be financial reforms, so that we are able to bring in the African private sector into the funding. I mentioned also the issue of sovereign funds that we can use. We can create a fund that will enable AU to do all its money work. Then there's issue of 0.2% of the duty, which only 17 countries are remitting. I will work to ensure that all the countries actually pay their dues to the Union.
A debate that had the continent waiting with bated breath, with each candidate hoping to have convinced the member states. The next AUC chairperson will guide Africa's premier intergovernmental body in tackling the continent's most pressing challenges.
The response from the last...
As the candidates prepare for further engagements, all eyes are now on February 2025, when member states will cast their votes. Brian Amuai, K24, Nairobi.
Well, we take another break here on Evening Edition. More stories to come, including our weekly segment, The Voice of Nature, and the focus is on the impact of the invasive cactus. Do not miss.
Angukia welcome bonus only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets and a free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet. Yeah!
This festive season, jingle with the stars on Star Times. Renew your subscription for 2 months and get upgraded to the next high bouquet for 2 months and enjoy more entertainment. More football action on the Carabao Cup, La Liga and Bundesliga.
And he's taken it!
More kiddie fun on the best kiddie channel.
Like I think he said the magic word.
More reality.
I would never think a wedding would be like this.
More movies, more telenovelas.
I'm sure I'll like you because you're unlike everyone. You are my baby.
Renew your subscription today and get upgraded for more festive cheer. Download the Star Times On app to never miss a moment of your favorite shows. Star Times wishes you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Kula pamoja, kucheka pamoja na kuomba pamoja. Haya yawe nyenzo za siri ya upendo wetu kama familia, kama jamii na kama taifa.
Kupata pamoja kama skiza tune yako, dial *811 *620#.
Baada ya kutumia damu ya Yesu na mwili wa Yesu Kristo, shine, 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 you shine and you shine, and just in the name of Jesus.
Download OneXBet app and enjoy the variety of sports anytime, anywhere. OneXBet app, at the heart of the game.
Welcome back. Pesticides intended to protect crops and homes are turning deadly to the very people they are intended to protect. Smuggled, counterfeit and expired products flooding the market through porous borders and unregulated routes has aggravated the risks. These toxic pesticides are poisoning food, harming health and costing lives as farmers and consumers struggle to identify them due to the deceptive packaging and weak enforcement. Authorities have intensified efforts, seizing over 3 tons of illegal products and training thousands to combat the crisis. But smugglers continue to exploit unmonitored pathways, as Electin Odera found out.
At a small farm in Mudwani, Martin is hard at work, weeding his farm and watering his vegetables. This is his family's lifeline, but rainfall has been scarce.
Hii sukuma hata sijaipika ndawa. Kwa sababu hata ndawa yenyewe si hata mimi naenda kununua na pesa. Na mimi nashindwa hata pesa kutoa pesa yenyewe kupata ni ngumu.
Collins Wasike, who leads an initiative to support farmers in Mavoko, explains the partnership with seed companies to subsidize farm inputs. He notes that counterfeit pesticides are a pestering problem.
Kwa sababu hizo ni vitu ambazo zimejaa kwenye soko, sasa mkulima hajui gani ndio gani.
The result, low yields and weakened soil, worsening food insecurity in a drought-stricken area.
Production yake inakuwa very poor, na ambapo inaacha mkulima na hasara kubwa sana, na ameenda gharama kubwa sana kwenda kununua, alafu mwishoni ikamchoma.
The issue stretches beyond the farm. Illegal pesticides, often smuggled across porous borders, pose serious health risks, contributing to Kenya's rising non-communicable diseases and NCDs like cancer, diabetes, and heart conditions. Smuggling of these products also presents a substantial economic threat due to tax evasion, a major aspect of illicit financial flows, as smugglers bypass input duties, value-added tax, and other levies by using unmonitored routes and falsifying documents.
Pesticides that are used in agriculture that are also illegal, and they are largely coming from 2 neighbors, Uganda and Tanzania. We share many porous borders with the two countries, and also we have many official routes as well as compared to the other neighbors.
At the Busia border, Peter sells pesticides sourced cheaply from Uganda.
Hiyo dawa inapatikana kwa shilingi 300. Kama wewe mwenyewe ndio unaenda kujisprayia, unainua na 300, lakini kama unataka niende nikisprayie, pia tunaongea labor na distance. Unaweza fika mahali popote panapostahili, unatoka na kusaidia na kusprayia, and then kutokea hapo utaona matokeo ya dawa yake inafanya vizuri.
This cheap alternative has deadly consequences.
For the export market, we are going to find exigencies in this export produce because we don't know the limits. We don't know how long we should wait for the crop before we harvest it or for export. So they will get interception in Europe because of these exigencies. Also, they may not manage the pests that are required to manage, and then we may have some pests in the export produce, and then Kenya will lose the market, and Kenya will lose the national income through the forex loss.
Chege Masharia, KRS Deputy Commissioner for Border Control, highlights the dangers of smuggling.
The way you are operating here, you need also to be getting intelligence so that you protect our traders, you protect our clients. We need them more than we need smugglers.
NCDs now account for 7 in 10 global deaths, including 15 million premature deaths annually. In Kenya, they drive half of hospital admissions and death, according to AMREF. Lawrence Kalawa of the Pest Control Products Board says efforts are underway to curb the trade.
The embargo is on, and in fact, the last 6 months, we have impounded and seized in excess of 3 tons of illegal pesticides, and those people are before the courts of law. They are being prosecuted. So it's an embargo that is on because we know they are there, and we have to continue fighting them. The cases are spread all over the country, and Nairobi, Mombasa are taking the leadership on the illegal pesticides, but they are generally spread around the country.
Farmers are urged to protect themselves by checking pesticide labels for clear English and Kiswahili text, proper registration, and local distribution details. The fight against counterfeit pesticides is critical for Kenya's farmers, consumers, and the economy. Safe farming starts with awareness and action. Elected Order, K24 TV.
Livestock farmers in Kajiado, Laikipia and other arid counties are raising alarm over the devastating impact of invasive plant species, particularly a type of cactus from the Ipomoea family. The plants are destroying pasture lands vital for livestock survival. Tonight on Voice of Nature, David Kagina reports over 3 million acres in Kajiado County alone have already been taken over, posing a direct threat to livelihoods.
At first glance, the vast affected areas might look like lush fields of flowering plants or crops. Upon closer inspection, the invasive plant Ipomoea reveals its true destructive nature. The plant has overrun critical grazing lands, rendering them unusable for livestock farming.
Miaka 3 iliyopita ndio ilianza kumea. Tukaona sasa nyasi zimeanza kuisha juu ya hii mmea. Tukaendelea hivyo, tukaona wanyama ni mpaka uende watafutie juu nyasi sasa asikui.
In Nasaru Olosho Kajiado East constituency, the once thriving rangelands have been transformed into dense, weed-filled fields. According to Jackson Ngananai, the CEO of Nasaru Olosho Conservancy, Ipomoea is spreading uncontrollably.
Zile acreage ambazo zimekuwa affected hapa Nasaru actually ni more than 4,000 na saa hii tumeweza kutoa 2,000 in the 4 blocks.
Out of the studies by the county, 30% of Kajiado County is actually invested by these invasive species, and this reduces the quality of the rangeland, and more importantly makes it impossible for livestock and wildlife to thrive.
Residents have expressed their frustration, calling for the national government to intervene.
This is just an innocent-looking, fluffy and healthy leaf. But to the residents of Kajiado, as you can see left behind me, this has become a headache. It is hypomea, the weed that is preventing them from grazing here, since it allows no grass to grow underneath it. And also it poses a risk since it's so easy for wild animals to hide within them and attack either the livestock or the grazers taking care of them.
Hapo pahali kuna hypomea, hakuna nyasi kabisa. Sasa wanatoroka wakienda kutafuta pahali pengine. Kwanza ukiona wakati mchana yote, uoni wanyama wakiwa karibu.
Wakati imejaa hapo karibu na bomani, kwa kweli wanyama wa misitu wanajificha ndani. Unapata hata mbuzi ananyakuliwa na fisi ama simba hapo karibu, manake inamea, inakuwa kubwa na inaficha wanyama. Sasa hapo utajaribu kuja jioni, ukijaribu kuhesabu mbuzi wako na hawajaenda malisho mbali, unapata wamenyakuliwa na hao wanyama wa pori.
Evelyn Ryan, a local resident, says the invasive species is not only displacing grazing land but also contributing to soil degradation and security for both their livestock and children.
Hata kwa wanadamu, wakati kuna hiyo hypomea mingi, kulikuwa na homa nyingi sana. Kila saa watu wanapelekwa hosi juu ya magonjwa.
Ile ambaye kuna hypomea ambaye inakuwa refu, wacha hii fupi. Na hiyo ikiwa refu, pia wakati mwingine ukijaribu kutuma watoto waende malishoni, wanapotea. Unamtafuta kwa muda mrefu.
Experts from WWF Kenya and local authorities say the hypomea is not native to Kenya. In arid areas like Kajiado, the plant thrives unchecked. Women in particular have borne the brunt of this ecological crisis, as they are traditionally responsible for grazing animals and fetching firewood in these regions.
25 acres ambayo ndio ilitolewa ya hypomea, na hapo bado haijatutosha, kwa sababu ukijaribu kuangalia kwa shamba unaweza pata ni kasehemu kidogo imetolewa. Bado kuna hypomea ingine mingi sana. Hatupei kaeze kumea na kukomaa, maana ikikomaa inamwaga mbegu, na ikimwaga mbegu inaanza kumea tena. Kwa hivyo tukagundua siri, afadhali tuitoe ikiwa changa ili isiendelee tena kukua tena.
WWF Kenya representative Jackson Kiplagat has called for collaboration between local communities, county governments and researchers to find lasting solutions. He emphasizes that uprooting efforts need to be paired with scientific research and policy changes to effectively contain the spread of hypomea.
Physical methods, maybe chemical methods, and any other methods that may be proposed by research to provide a long-term solution towards the best ways of removal.
There's different ideas, and the best, of course, is if such invasive species can be brought to new uses, like producing charcoal, producing new products that need to be developed. And this is the research currently going on. And we need to organize exchange between different countries and partners to find out what methods there are.
But what do researchers have to say about the controlling of hypomea?
You must make problems with simple solutions, and I have seen in southern Africa that they use the cattle to image that what is buffaloes and lions doing, a stampede, and with a stampede you destroy all that what the animals do not like the shrubs and this invasion plates you have here. I could recommend to test it here as a research project and probably helping the people here to make it much easier than with a manual clinic.
Efforts to combat the invasion are gaining momentum, with WWF Kenya recently partnering with local residents to clear 1,840 hectares of infested land as part of an ongoing initiative.
So WWF, working with the community of Nasaru Olosho Conservancy, have removed already about 2,000 acres that had been invested by these invasive species. And we are still working with the Conservancy to reduce, or rather to remove another additional 2,000 acres of hypomea.
So we still have some more areas that are being occupied by this invasive that we need to work on it, so that we can say we have eliminated it completely.
Residents of Kajiado, Laikipia and other affected counties are now urging the government to fast-track solutions and allocate more resources for research and mitigation measures.
Matumaini zaidi ya kwamba itakuja iwe ya kwamba ni yaipomea sisi tukitoa, lakini mahali pengine tutapata ya kwamba itakuja kutusaidia. Maybe tunaweza pata imekuja kuwa tunaweza tengenezewa na ikakuwa manyua.
For Voice of Nature, I'm David Kagina.
Have you watched K24? We would love to hear from you. Send us your feedback on what you like and what you don't like and why. You can use any platform to reach us. We can be reached on Facebook, Twitter and WhatsApp.
People Daily, Kenya's trusted newspaper, is making history as the first daily to go fully digital. By transitioning from print to the PD News app, we are delivering the same exceptional journalism you've relied on for years in a completely new way to experience it. It's news for today and the future. No paper, no waste. Just real-time updates and customizable stories. This is a leap towards innovation, sustainability, and a better experience for you, our reader. Download the PD app now on Play Store and App Store. People Daily. News that moves with you.
I will love you without condition.
This 14th December 2024, the sensational reggae star Etana will be performing live at the Embassy Bistro, Thika Road.
Malaika.
Flash tickets are now available at ticketyetu.com. Regular tickets are going for 1,500. VIP tickets are going for 3,000, and 5,000 Kenyan shillings for VVIP. Ingia ticket yetu na ushike tiko yako leo. Come and have some good vibes.
La da da da, I'm not the sort of person who falls in and quickly out of love. But to you, I give my affection right from the start.
Mozart Casino Jackpot. Zungusha gurudumu la furaha. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
K24 Sports News, powered by Mozart Bet.
Angukia welcome bonus. Only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets and a free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
Now let's get sporty. Vincent Langat and Helen Ekalale were crowned the men and women 10 kilometers winners respectively of the fifth leg of the Athletics Kenya cross-country series held on Saturday at the scenic Olkalau Arboretum. Langat won the men's race after clocking 32 minutes and 5.2 seconds. Wesley Kipkemoi was second after clocking 32 minutes and 8.9 seconds. John Lomwani completed the podium after 32 minutes and 18.4 seconds. Elsewhere, Helen Ekalale dazzled in the women's 10 kilometers race, clocking an impressive 35 minutes and 53.1 seconds to edge out Christine Njoki, who finished second. Joylyn Cheretich was third.
World Championship yenye itafanyika Japan. So nitangangana na nitatia bidii. Ningependa kungangana pia mimi nikuwe mkimbiaji mwema na nitangangana kabisa hata mimi nikimbie vizuri.
Game imekuwa smart. Imekuwa competitive na nimeshukuru uwanja ni smart.
Ingine nashukuru management Kipran wamenisupport sana. Wamenipea ample time ni train. Pia training mates wangu nashukuru. Na wenye tumecompete nao nasema congratulations. Siri yangu ni kupika tu mazoezi. Nikienda Kapsokwanyi ilikuwa first cross country yangu. Nilishukuru Mungu sana, nime-maintain hadi nimefika hapa.
The government, I'm also very happy that we have given opportunity to people who would have never gotten this opportunity to come and run. And as you all know is that those people who win here in Nyandarua or Karao, there is no doubt a good number of them will stop at nothing but at the top of the international arena. And therefore, that is why I came to see what they are doing, and I'm satisfied that this cross country has been organized well.
Talanta FC came from a goal down to force 1-1 draw against Nairobi City Stars in one of the 4 Football Kenya Federation Premier League FKFPL match played on Saturday at the Utalii College ground. Mohamed Bajaber put Nairobi City Stars in front in the 11th minute before Emmanuel Osoro leveled for the visitor in the 95th minute. In other matches played today, Kenya Police FC defeated Gor Mahia 1-0 in Murang'a, while Kakamega Homeboys drew 1-1 against Ulinzi Stars. Mare Sugar defeated Kariobangi Sharks 1-0.
Lakini Emmanuel Osoro amefanya jambo.
Leo hatujakuwa na mchezo mzuri, nitasema hivyo, hatujakuwa na mchezo mzuri. Mungu ametusaidia tukapata bao. Tumezuia mpaka dakika ya mwisho, unaona kilichofanyika. I think kwanza baada ya kufunga bao hatukuweza miliki mpira vizuri. Unaona tulikuwa tunapatia na mipira na haikuwa vizuri, hata unaona second half bado hatukuwa na hiyo confidence ya kucheza. Then maybe fatigue imeingia katika hizo magame nyingi zimekuwa, lakini leo haijakuwa mzuri kabisa, haijakuwa mzuri. Hata kama tungewin na tukudeserve kuwin, leo wenyewe hatujacheza vizuri kabisa.
Nilikuambia hii City Stars game yetu nao haikuangi rahisi kwetu. Ndio naona nilikuja na uoga kidogo, nikasema acha nicheze na madm wawili nizuie nione na kwa bahati mbaya ama mzuri walipata bao ya mapema. Walipopata bao ya mapema wakaanza kuilinda na ukora ndani ya waste time. Hawakuwa na tactic mzuri, hata hawakufanya game flow leo. Honestly, na ni timu inapiga, inaweza cheza mpira mzuri, ni timu inaweza anza from behind, lakini tunashukuru Mungu kwa hiyo draw. Hiyo point moja itaniweka pahali.
Kenya Ports Authority KPA will face Equity Bank in the final of the senior men's category of the Kipchumba Karori Volleyball Championships currently underway at the Eldoret Polytechnic in Uasin Gishu County. KPA beat General Service Unit GSU 3 sets to 2 of 25-19, 21-25, 25-21, 21-25 and 12-15 in the first semi-final to sail through. Elsewhere, Equity Bank beat Kenya Defence Force KDF 3 sets to 2 of 25-23, 23-25, 25-20, 24-16 and 16-18. The finals of the Kipchumba Karori Volleyball Championships will take place on Sunday.
Good team. Recently they won against us, but today we are grateful that we have been able to revenge, and that sweet revenge, that is it. So we've qualified for the finals. We thank God for that. We thank God for that win, being the defending champions for this tournament. We look forward to playing the finals and also winning and defending our title.
It has been tough since yesterday. We managed to play 4 teams in the pool. Today we qualified as top team in the pool, and we met Kenya Pipeline in the semi-finals. We have played very well against Kenya Pipeline. Remember, they beat us 3-2 at Nyayo. We have beaten them 3-0. That's a good start. So the girls have played very well according to our instructions, and we are hopeful that tomorrow we meet Prisons. Maybe I know things will be different, not like what we played them at Nyayo Stadium.
The Kenya Academy of Sports Talent camps across the country have come to a close with a total of 129 students selected from the Kisumu KS camp for the national camp set to be held in Nairobi County. The KS Talent Development camps kicked off on 1st of December this year across the country and closed on Saturday. KS Talent Camp in Kisumu has selected the top talented students across football, volleyball, rugby, hockey and basketball to join other students from camps in Eldoret, Nairobi and Mombasa. The main aim of the Kenya Academy of Sports Talent Development camps was to identify, nurture and support young talents in Kenya.